Thanks everybody for coming, for another episode of Off the Clock with Mo. Today I have an opportunity of doing this podcast with a co-worker of mine, Mr. Diaz, and we've been trying to get him on the show for quite some time now. He finally showed up.
I made it, guys. Make sure you got your drinks together. We're gonna have a nice conversation.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a real good conversation, and time may end up flying. I may have to force it to stop. But we're gonna take a shot. And this is a saying I always like saying. Some people don't like it, but I love it because we all, like I say all the time, because we off the clock. So we're gonna toast this to, man, we both be in heaven for at least 30 minutes before the devil find out.
All right.
Whew, that's all right.
So for the people that don't know, what type of drinker are you? You like cognac, bourbon?
I'm more of a bourbon whiskey guy.
Okay.
When I of course, when I was growing up, I tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking vodka. Used to drink Absolute. Used to be my drink back in the day.
Nasty work.
It used to be Grey Goose because I couldn't afford Belvedere because Grey Goose was the lower end of Belvedere.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't afford Belvedere, so I would drink Grey Goose, and then even before that, it was a cheap liquors when I ain't had no money.
Of course.
I drank Wild Hours Rose.
Oh, you tripping.
I think I drank that one time, and then that was over. I was calling Earl like a motherfucker. Because it was only like $3 a bottle and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you could get people to buy it for you when I was underage.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Then I used to I drunk gin one time. I stayed away from gin because that was a bad experience too. That one had the whole room spinning. I was calling Earl. The room was spinning and shit. I was supposed to been trying to get some ass. Couldn't get no ass that day because the shit had me that fucked up. I like shit. I just want to go to bed. I'm in the room in the bed. Shit, no clothes on, no nothing. But I couldn't. How they say that you be paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The more I tried to get up, I just couldn't get up.
Yo,
I couldn't get up. He couldn't get up. Neither one of us get up.
just fucked up.
Yeah, and I ain't drunk. I haven't drunk gin since that day. But then I started drinking cognacs. I started drinking Hennessy. Started drinking like Remy, cognacs like that. And for the most part, the Hennessy cognacs is good,
mm-hmm.
but they only advertise that shit, to black people, to hoods and shit like that.
I actually found out that black people is not the majority that drinks Hennessy. It's actually Asians.
Oh wow!
Asians really fuck with it too.
Oh wow!
So I was surprised because I saw it on social media, and I saw Bruce Lee. He was a Hennessy drinker.
Yeah. And
then I guess it was just a cultural thing that just a lot of Asians drink it.
Oh wow!
Because all the Asians that I've seen on social media, they parents drink Hennessy. They drunk Hennessy, and I was like, I guess it's not a black thing. Right. Or not just a black thing.
Yeah, they advertise like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But
they do advertise it to black people, but Asian people drink it a lot.
But then I started getting older. I think that's how I also found out I was getting old too. Because then I started venturing out to bourbons, and I started smoking cigars, and drinking cognac and cigars for me, it didn't match well. You know what I'm saying? When you take a drink of your cognac and then you hit the cigar, for me it fucked up my taste buds. It didn't feel right. Like, well, let me hurry and drink this first, and then drink some water. Then I smoke my cigar. But with bourbons and whiskeys, it meshed. You know what I'm saying? It's no like it's not a nasty aftertaste.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I started, drinking bourbons, and but you still got to come up. You still got to find the ones that you like. Because there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had your American whiskeys, you had your Irish whiskeys, you have Canadian whiskeys, which I don't like Canadian whiskey. I don't like Crown Royal. I tried drinking Crown Royal several times. Never liked Crown Royal. Jack Daniels I like because the regular Jack Daniels I like because that's the I can take shots of that, a regular Jack Daniels. Regular Jack Daniels, even though a lot of people drink Jack and Coke, but Jack Daniels for me is like, for me, it's more like for taking shots. You just take take shots of Jack Daniel. But then I also got like Gentleman Jack, which Gentleman Jack is like more like for drinking, sitting back and sipping on. The single barrel Jack Daniels is the same way. That goes good with cigars as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then shit, I just started drinking whiskeys. Like even like I think Canadian whiskey is spelled different than American and Irish whiskey.
Okay.
Because Canadian whiskey don't have an E in it.
Okay.
American and Irish whiskey is spelled with an E.
Damn, I never even noticed it.
Yeah.
Because so I started drinking fairly young, and I was a cognac drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, Hennessy, and then I got introduced when I was young, when I couldn't afford or when I wasn't able to buy it legally. What was it called? Parmesan.
Oh yeah, Uncle Paul.
Erkenjerk.
Oh, I remember Erkenjerk. Yeah. I remember Erkenjerk. That you get a 50 E&J, Erkenjerk, Easy Jesus. For like $10. You get a fifth for like $10.
That's when I learned real quickly, anything that's that cheap, you probably shouldn't be drinking. Probably shouldn't.
Nah, hell nah. Nuh-uh. But when you ain't got no money and you like drinking liquor, I mean, that's you get what you get. But you know, I've never really been a big liquor drinker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only time I really drink liquor if it's someone's here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've always been more of a beer drinker.
Okay.
Yeah, I can drink beer all day. You know what I'm saying? I hate drinking liquor by myself because I think, you know, when you drinking liquor, it's easy to get in your damn feelings when you drinking the shit by yourself.
Because you by yourself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to get in your damn feelings and be like, man, I ain't shit. I don't know why my life turning out like this. Sip. Man, I don't even want to do this shit no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm with people, we can laugh, joke, talk shit, swallow spit, fuck around, all that type of shit when you drinking liquor. For me, liquor is more of a social thing for me than anything else. But beer, I can sit back, watch the football games, basketball games, drink beer. Some days I can sit right here at the bar some days, turn the music on, and just drink beer. Or even sometimes if I turn the music on, depending on how I'm feeling, I could sit here and drink, have a glass. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I could drink some liquor just sitting here listen to music, but just to do it on a regular basis, I can't do that shit. And plus, you know, I know how addictive, you know, alcohol can be. Once you start drinking alcohol, shit, you know, that's a hole that you can damn near not dig yourself back out of.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's very, very hard. I've seen it happen multiple times. Just being in the field that I work in, mm-hmm. I see a lot of damaged people.
Oh yeah,
and it's hard. Not only the addiction part, you know, the withdrawal and things like that, but what it does to your body if you let it consume you like that. Like,
yeah. You have somebody 35 years old looking older than me. I'm like, how old are you? Shit, 29. Like, for real?
Damn.
Yeah, that liquor done got to you and shit. You know, but because with liquor also, liquor is so easy to consume because I ain't gonna say because everybody does it, but it's accepted by everybody.
It's an acceptable drug.
Yeah, you know, and you can just you may have an addiction and you can just mingle. You can just mix in with everybody else that's having a drink. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, you know, went out there and got into a car accident because you can't handle your liquor. And I didn't know you couldn't handle your shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you just mix in with the shit. You know, I damn near caught myself at one point, you know, drinking too damn much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I had to ease up. You ever found yourself in that situation?
Oh yeah, I think probably during the pandemic. Because when before the pandemic, I was a drinker, but it was always like 1 or 2 days out of the week, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I get off of work on Friday, I'm off Saturday and Sunday. I just call the boys and we'll just get back and have some drinks. The pandemic, because we couldn't leave.
Right.
I was a first responder, so I had to go to work. But I see everybody else at home chilling, maxing, relaxing. It was easier to just sit back and drink and then
maxing and relaxing. How old are you? I ain't heard maxing and relaxing since Yo MTV Raps. The fuck you talking some maxing?
I'll be 32 in 2 weeks.
Maxing and relaxing. I ain't heard that shit since 88, 89.
It just flew. But yeah, I think during the pandemic, I think a lot of people had problems during that time.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. Cause I found myself during the pandemic, doing a lot of online shopping. I never online shopped before the pandemic, and I ain't had shit to do. I'm at work. I was still at work every day. You couldn't go nowhere, and I'll just be online. Just I want this. I want that, and I order the shit, and the shit come to the house. I'm like, oh damn, that's nice. Let me do that again. Let me order some more stuff. And the shit come to the house. Like, oh, hey, you want something? I'm gonna order it. It's gonna come to the house. And I found I damn near got addicted to online shopping.
I'll say this. I had fun during the pandemic. Like, although all seriousness, with all the things that happened, all the people that we lost, outside of that, not being able, you had to stay home. If it was either working home, it was cool with me. That's all I did anyway. So it didn't really bother me.
No, it didn't bother me either.
People was complaining. They was like, I can't go to this and I can't do that. And I'm like, I'm in the crib. I'm always in the crib. So it ain't bother me not one bit.
Nah, it ain't bother me none either because, during that time, during the pandemic, I was separated from my wife at the time. I didn't have I wasn't seeing nobody exclusively. I was just dating people. And shit, that was the perfect time. Because shit, you want to come over? Well, yeah, I'll be over. Yeah, well, what's about to happen when you
pandemic babies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I at the time during that time I was working at the hospital. And man, shit. I mean, you had so many people after the pandemic was somewhat over. Well, probably like just about over. Man, it was so many damn pandemic babies coming in there like I'm here for the labor and delivery. I knew that what everybody was during that pandemic. That's what everybody was just doing. I can't go nowhere. Shit, ain't got nothing to do. You want to fuck? Yeah, I want to fuck. Okay, well let's fuck.
That was it.
That's all you had to do the whole day. Especially if you live with somebody, you know what I'm saying, or you was dating somebody. And shit, what else did you have to do? You couldn't go to no stores, really. You couldn't do nothing but go to the gas station, if anything. And shit, you'd be in the house just, shit. Look, my dick hard. You want to have sex? Well, yeah, you walking, my pussy wet. You want to have sex? Well, yeah.
Ain't nothing else to do.
Yeah, and now you got all these damn babies that just start popping up. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the whole PPE or PPP, whatever it was, scandals going on and all this shit. They was giving you money, stimulus checks, but you couldn't use the shit really.
Right.
But you couldn't go nowhere. And that's what probably got me hooked on online shopping. It's online shopping, man. And when you was going, like, I'm happy you brought up the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? What were some of the things that you was doing during the pandemic since you couldn't leave and you was cool with not leaving?
Well, first work. I was working at a hospital as well, and because we couldn't hire people, I think we couldn't hire people just because everything had frozen.
Yeah.
So we had lost a lot of people, and so it was like a lot of mandatory overtime. And so we were just in there 15, 16 hours, 7 days a week. There was nothing else to do.
Right.
There was nothing else to do but to work.
Yeah.
And so if I wasn't at work, I was at the crib. I was in the crib. I was married at the time, and she was complaining about how she couldn't go nowhere because she wasn't a first responder.
Yeah.
So all of her work had to be done essentially at the house. So I guess that was like the start of remote working.
Oh yeah.
So she was working at home, and she was like, I can't take this no more. I'm sitting in the house. I'm like, lucky you. I got to be in the building with infectious diseases and stuff.
Yeah. That shit was that shit was crazy. You know, working in the hospital, and then the part that tripped me out during that time was how everybody was saying it wasn't real, it was fake, the government was this, the government was that. I'm like, no, this shit is real.
Nah, that shit was real as fuck.
This shit is real, because I remember working in the hospital, and there was one hospital that had a refrigerated semi-truck trailer, and it held so many bodies, and that motherfucker got full. Then they added another trailer. Then that motherfucker got full. Then they added another trailer. That motherfucker got full. You know, and all day long, you know, over the radios or whatever, you would just hear, I forgot what it was, but you could always tell, you could always hear on the radio, we got another dead body. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what color code it was, but there's another dead body, like every ship would have like 4 and 5 people dying.
Yeah.
You know, they got to the point where they were sending people who had COVID to hospice. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't have room nowhere else. And the whole house, everything they had in the hospital, they changed them over to patient beds. You know, waiting areas. No longer a waiting area no more. They had patients in the waiting areas on gurneys. You know what I'm saying? You had patients that was, you know, shit, probably in rooms that was meant for like surgery or pre-op, you know, there to be treated for COVID.
Yeah.
I'm like, this shit is real. I thought it was a regular flu at first, like another strain of the flu initially. But I'm like, no, this shit is real.
Yeah, I had the CEO of that hospital tell us that don't wear masks and gloves because we don't want to scare people. I was a supervisor at the time, so I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to disregard that. I told all my people to continue wearing masks and gloves because we don't know what it is. If people are dropping like flies, why would I tell my people to not wear them?
Right.
Wear PPE. Like, that's kind of foolish.
Yeah.
So we had a morgue with six openings, like, you know, so in the freezer you had 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. Maybe an hour it was full. We had to clear out one of our industrial freezers where we keep the food, take that to like a backup area and start putting bodies in there. It was like 30 bodies. It got to a point where we had to get the semi trucks because it was just coming in droves. And that hospital wasn't even a level 1 or a level 2 trauma center. It was a level 3.
Oh wow!
Damn near like a urgent care. That's pretty much what it was.
So for those people that don't know what level 1, level 2, level 3 trauma hospitals are you able to elaborate on on the different levels?
Yeah. So level 1 trauma is where a lot of things happen, like your GSWs, your gunshots, mutilations. They are equipped to deal with that type of trauma. A level 2 is one step below that. They still are able to handle it, but their main thing is to get them stable and shipped out to a level 1.
Right.
A level 3 is kind of like an urgent care, deal with colds, flu, coughs, maybe an amputated finger, just to get you stable and then ship you out.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't really. They say, I'm not telling them, this hospital here is a trauma 1 hospital, and then they say, well, why we couldn't go over to this hospital? That's the closest hospital. Because that's a trauma. That's like a trauma 3, or even not even a trauma hospital. That's why. But that don't make no sense. People don't understand. They don't understand shit that they don't know, and they're gonna force you to want to agree with them. Like, it's hard for me to agree with you when I know the reason why.
It's hard to explain things to people. That's why when I deal with people, when I'm not at work and I'm as a customer, I just take their word for it because it's something obviously that I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm go to Comcast and ask them for a new box and they can't do it for whatever reason, I just be like, okay, you know what? it must be something that I don't know that y'all do. So
and y'all do this every day. Yeah, y'all do this shit every day. But you said earlier, during COVID, you was married. Mm-hmm. And during that time that you was married during COVID, did COVID cause any type of stress on the marriage?
Probably. I would say yeah.
And how?
Shit, just being in the house all day, being in each other's faces. You would think that would actually make it better, but I guess it kind of amplifies who y'all are and what y'all want from each other. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to arguing all the time, you get tired of that shit. So you start reevaluating some things.
But you mean, but no one ever said, you know what, this is COVID. This ain't who we are. And I understand we just in each other's space all the time, and normally I'm at work, you at work, and we come home, meet up, and then we talk about our day. But since we gotta be here together all day, everyone, well, not necessarily you because you was going to work all day, but you said earlier that she was pretty stressed out because she couldn't go to work. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And any of that, y'all didn't say, you know what, this ain't us, this is COVID.
Well, 31-year-old me would have thought of that. But at that time, we were young because we had got married when we were super duper young. I think we were like 20.
Oh, wow.
We were 20 when we got married. So when we got divorced, I think we were 28, 29, something like that. So even though that's not a large 29 to 31, it's not a huge gap. But because I got divorced, I learned a lot about myself. Uh-huh. And I'm sure that she learned a lot about herself too. And so I think if the situation was at this age now, I think we would have did things a little differently.
Oh, okay. So you said y'all were married at 20? Mm-hmm. What made you get married before you was even legal to drink? I understand you was probably drinking anyway, but you wasn't even old enough to drink. So what prompted y'all to want to be married at 20?
I don't know. I think we loved each other and we thought that we was ready for marriage. We probably wasn't. We weren't married.
Well, y'all were just having 20-year-old sex and thought y'all should be married?
Because we figured that we knew each other because we've known each other since we were 10.
Okay.
So we was like, we know each other. We don't need to. We didn't take into account that, your different milestone years. So like 21, 25, 30, you change.
Yeah.
And the person that I was at 10, I'm not the same person that I was at 10 or 15 or even 18. And so we didn't take. I don't think we took that into account.
So at 20, who were you at 20?
Probably just a little rascal for real. Like I was just, I don't want to say wild, but just immature. Uh-huh. Really immature.
And then at 30, 31, who would you say you are now?
50% less immature.
Okay. You still got some immaturity things about you.
Of course.
Oh, okay, all right.
Of course. I'd be lying if I said I'm not.
I don't think it's ever gonna go nowhere, but
it's not. But I'm man enough to admit that.
Right. Now, and I think that's a big step too, is when you can admit to your shortcomings. Yeah.
I think now I think things through, and I learned. I think I want to say accountability, right? Mm-hmm. So that word was not in my vocabulary in my early 20s. Right. I always blamed it's your fault. It's your fault or it's your fault. Yeah. It's not my fault. It can never be me. I'm perfect. What are you talking about? Fuck you talking about? No.
Right.
But when we got divorced and I started learning, and a lot of it had to do with our divorce and therapy.
Okay.
And when I started going to therapy, I realized that I rarely took accountability for things.
So when you went to therapy, because I think in the Black community, therapy has always been taboo.
That's fuck.
And before you even got to therapy and you decided you want to do therapy, how did you look at it when you finally said, I'm going to therapy?
I didn't even want to go. I swore it down. I did not want to go. During the pandemic, I saw a lot of things. Mm-hmm. A lifetime of things. And things that I don't think in a normal situation, I don't think a lot of people would have seen. And so I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, "Well, talk to my therapist. He specializes in first response traumas."
Okay.
And so reluctantly, I went. I was dating this girl, or rather, I was dating this woman, and she was an advocate for mental health and therapy. So she was like, "Well, go." And so I went. The first 5 sessions wasn't really that good because like you said, it was taboo. You were considered weak if you went to therapy.
Yeah.
You know, and so when after like the 5th or 6th visit, and he kind of was like done with my bullshit. Like I'm not talking. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm all right. Well, what about this, that, and the third? Yeah, I'm okay. But as I was like, you know what, this is bothering me. And then that turned into, he was like, what do you do in your spare time? And I told him, I'm not really I don't really hang out a lot. I'm always in the house. I read books. I watch anime, right? And that's pretty much it. Right. And I write.
What do you write? Scripts, movies,
I don't know.
Music?
I would like to say music, but it's more or less just whatever I'm thinking at the time.
Okay.
I didn't realize that it was actually a therapeutic thing to do. I was just writing how I felt.
Yeah.
And my therapist, he was like, well, you know what? Keep doing that because that's actually a good coping mechanism for a lot of things. So I started, I do that. So that was pretty much what I do. So he was like, well, have you ever went fishing? I'm like, no. What do I want to go fishing for? So he invited me to go on a boat and things like that. And I guess his whole thing was try to make me come out of my norm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, jump out of the box, for less of a better term. Right. And so, yeah, I advocate therapy for anybody. If you're having a problem, talk to a therapist. Talk to somebody, anybody you trust.
Yeah, you know, I've always, like I said earlier, you know, therapists was like always considered to be taboo, you know, in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? But the older I got, I realized, you know, how helpful that it can be if you need that, you know, therapy. You know, my big thing with therapy was they would never let me bring my beer to a session.
That's true.
But to me, it's like, shit. If you want me to be me, let me be me, and we can work on this together. I may come in with the beer today, but shit.
But if you think about it, what kind of therapist would he be if he just allowed everybody to bring their vices?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna talk.
Come on, talk to me.
Yeah. Right, so, no, we ain't like shooting them no. They ain't shooting them no. But then, shit. You know, because like you said earlier, you was reluctant on talking. You didn't really want to talk to him. But now had he let you bring that beer or a shot or something or a glass or something, you probably would have been more up to talking.
That liquid courage.
Yeah,
that liquid courage is a motherfucker.
Yeah, it is.
That shit is real.
It is.
Because I'm really a shy person, right? And I'm real quiet. I'm real laid back. I'm real chill. But then if I'm like at a party or if I'm at like a gathering, 2 drinks, now I'm talking.
Yeah.
Have you ever had liquid courage to talk to somebody, whether it's a girl or you wanted to talk business with somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I'm low key, you know, like you. I've always been shy my whole life. My whole life, I can sit in a room full of people and not say shit to you because one, I don't know you. 2, I don't trust you yet. You know what I'm saying? And 3, you got to show for me, you got to show something that I can trust to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I just don't talk to just any and everybody. But yeah, man, you give me something to drink. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be no asshole to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be. You don't got to worry about you bringing me to a function, and in the background you hear me yell out, "I'm a real nigga." You ain't I don't play that shit. You don't got to worry about that with me. You know what I'm saying? When I get to drink, you know, it takes the edge off, and I'm just able to have those conversations with you, and it just you know it just flows.
Do you believe that different liquors brings out different parts of personality?
Um, I don't know. I have to say I don't think so. Just because my personality is who I am. You know, the liquor may bring that personality out a little bit more, but I think the only thing that liquor does is how I'm gonna feel afterwards.
The hangover.
If it is gonna be a hangover or not, you know what I'm saying? Because if I drink, like I said, if I have to drink some type of gin or even tequila, I'm gonna feel like shit in the morning.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But while I'm drinking, I'm still gonna be me while I'm drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I do believe liquors will put you in certain liquors will put you in a certain mood. You know, when I drink brown liquor, I like to listen to what I call brown liquor music.
Elaborate.
See, brown liquor music would be something like R&B type of music. I may want to listen to Luther Vandross. I may want to listen to Teddy Pendergrass. I may want to listen, you know what I'm saying? I may want to listen to the OJs. You know, some that, you know, that I'm drinking this and if that song, the music and the liquor, it'll mellow me out. You know what I'm saying? I just call it brown liquor music just because I just.
So what's tequila music?
Probably probably all your mumble rapping and shit like that.
Mumble rap is crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Probably like your drill rap and all that. You know, all the new age rap type of shit.
Okay.
To me, it's like something that would be like tequila, a white liquor, period.
White. I don't know.
That's just how
I can see that. I haven't touched the vodka since 2012.
Okay.
2012, because around 2011, I was about like 18. Yeah, so the vodka choice at that time was Puffy Juice. You know what I'm saying? So,
what's Puffy Juice?
The Ciroc.
Ciroc.
So that's what everybody was drinking at the time. At least, yeah, that Nouveau.
I didn't get it. I never did get into Ciroc. I used to like the bottle,
but fancy.
Yeah, but I just never got into Ciroc. Probably just because it was a white liquor, and then even though they even came out with some brown ones, just didn't amuse me none.
It's not the best.
I'm sure.
Had better. I've had better.
But liquor, liquor just puts you. For me at least, it puts me in a It could put me in a calming mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I may not be. You know what I'm saying? Some days if I'm sitting here with my girlfriend and you can sit here and watch TV and not say too much or nothing. But then shit, I get some, come drink, come over here, get some liquor, drinking liquor, and before you know it, that quietness is turned into a full blown out conversation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't like talking to her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't want to hear what the fuck she got to say. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's like that. It's just that liquor just it just brings it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, for myself, like I said, I like listen to brown liquor music. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to brown liquor music.
We're gonna start using that.
Yeah.
Me in America, we're gonna start using that.
What, brown liquor music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Get you some brown liquor music, man. You're gonna be mellow, you're gonna be mellowed out, you're gonna be feeling good, you're gonna be all type of even when you're not feeling good. Sometimes when I'm not feeling good and I'm going through some shit, I'll put on some brown liquor music that matches my energy. Not necessarily I want to fight, but to match my energy. Man, I may be like like when I got when I separated from my wife the first time, and I was I found myself drinking a little bit more. You know what I'm saying, playing this this whole pity party shit. That I was going through for a moment. I put on Gerald Levert, 3 fingers. And 3 fingers is, when you point the finger at me, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. You know what I'm saying? No hesitation, no none of this, you know what I'm saying? And it would just, however I'm feeling, I listen to the music that would match that same energy.
I feel that.
Yeah. So that's what brown liquor do for me.
I'm trying to think, because when I got separated from my wife, I'm trying to think what music was I listening to at the time. Because I'm a firm believer of the music that you listen to it kind of amplifies your mood or your attitude.
It does. It's a scientific study.
It is.
Yeah. Why you think when you go to department stores, huh?
You make that up.
When you go to department stores and they playing the music that they play, the reason why they play that type of music in department stores, that mellow music, that soft music or whatever, or even on the elevators, they play like elevator music or whatever. Is they do that to try to prompt more people not to steal.
That makes that makes niggas not want to steal.
Because you hear it in your I like it, and not everybody not gonna want to steal, but you know what I'm saying. But that's the scientific reason behind it.
Okay.
Because music makes you feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying. But if you sit up here, if department stores had nothing but say fight music, you know what I'm saying? It's shit. I wish next motherfucker step on my foot, bump into me on accident, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the power of music. You know what I'm saying? Power of music has been power for centuries. You know what I'm saying? That's the devil's main tool. Okay. Is music. He was, the devil come from from music. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Music can get people with music can get you to follow somebody. Yeah. It'll get you to feel like can't shit stop you. It'll get you to feel like you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Music make you feel, depending on what type of music you listen to, shit, music will have you out here killing some damn body. You know what I'm saying? Music has that much.
That's true. That's why
power on you that you don't even realize that it has on you.
That's why all these YNs keep coming around shooting up motherfuckers.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, they probably listening to some music that coincides. I'm about to peel somebody's cat back.
Well, shit, they definitely ain't listening to Gerald Levert.
No, they ain't gonna listen to Gerald Levert, because then your ass is gonna want to sit there and go make a baby some goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? That shit gonna make you want to sit back and think about some shit. You know what I'm saying? When think about your relationship that you got with somebody. You don't see too many hard motherfuckers listening to R&B music. You know what I'm saying? You don't see too many motherfuckers listening to jazz that's hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? You want to listen to something that's gonna get you going.
Well, I guess yeah, I can see that.
You gotta hype you lifting weights. Yeah. You don't listen to jazz when you lift weights, do you? No, you're gonna listen to something that's gonna motivate you to pump more iron.
That's true, because when I went to the gym this morning and I was listening to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and Blade Icewood. Yeah, so I get that.
You ain't gonna listen to Gerald Levert pumping iron.
Nah, I probably fall asleep.
Yeah, she calling you out your name, going through your phone and thing. This don't motivate me to lift no damn weights.
Look, be fucking around and be in the corner crying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But that's just what that's just what music do to you. And you say you went through your divorce. When you went through your divorce, did you find yourself blaming yourself for it?
I think everybody do. When you get a divorce, you first you blame them, because then you like, fuck you, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Then you start thinking, well, I could have done this better, and I wish I would have did this. And then you come to the realization, you kind of like, after the emotions are low, then you kind of like, you know what? I could have did this better. She could have did this better. Yeah, it is what it is at that point. Well, at least for me.
Yeah.
Because when I went through it, I don't think a lot of people really realize how traumatic that really is for people, right?
How do you think? I think people understand how dramatic it is for women.
Yeah,
but I don't think they really know what it does to a man.
That's for sure. Cause I mean, shit, you lost everything.
Yeah,
she kept the house, the cars, the cat. She kept every fucking thing. I couldn't get nothing.
You didn't get nothing.
I walked away with one car.
With one car,
and she gave me a service pay from the house, but it wasn't nearly as much as what the house was worth.
Yeah.
And so for me in order to get the divorce just finalized, I was just like, I told my lawyer, just let her keep everything. So she kept everything, the furniture. My lawyer was dumbfounded. She was like, you don't want to fight for the furniture? Nope. You don't want the house? She can keep it.
It's going to remind me of her ass.
Look, we had like 4 or 5 cars. She was like, you don't want the other cars? I'm like, no.
It's just me.
just give me one car, give me half of the house, and I'm good.
Yeah.
And then she didn't give me that. I think she gave me like a tenth of what the house was worth. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to be over.
Right. You know, because I know when I went through, mine was a little different. I'm sure everybody on the podcast already know my story and shit. I done said it 1,000,001 times. But you know, when mine was completely opposite. You know, I was at work. I remember I was at work and I came home from work because I had a tri-level home at the time where the living room is upstairs, the kitchen's downstairs and stuff like that. And I had a totally different dog. His name was Chulo. Mm-hmm. He was a thoroughbred mutt. And you know, I go to open the door up, and he's at the landing by the door. Because like I said, you got a landing, then you go up the stairs to go to the living room, the bedroom, stuff like that. Then you got the landing, then you go downstairs to the kitchen. And Chulo looked at me and like, look, man, don't go upstairs and don't go downstairs. Just stand right here. Why the fuck I'm staying right here for? Like, look, man, she did it. She did what? She did it. Just don't go downstairs. Don't go upstairs. What the fuck she do, Chulo? Just stand right here and talk. Man, I ain't about to sit up here and talk to no damn dog. I look crazy talking to a damn dog. I go downstairs. The whole downstairs is gone. The kitchen table, the dining room table, the dishes, the dish rack was there. The refrigerator was there.
How sweet of her.
You know, I had a back room that the bed was in this back room. The bed was gone. The TV and the chair was there. And I'm like, God damn. All right, so I go upstairs and every room is empty. The living room is empty. All the bedrooms upstairs, it was 3 bedrooms. All the bedrooms upstairs was gone. And everything in the bathroom was just about gone too. And I'm like, ain't this about a bitch? Like this motherfucker, damn, didn't even say nothing. And I had 2 choices to make that night. Either call the kids, figure out where the hell they went to, or take my ass to bed and get up for work the next day. So I took my ass to bed. I ain't had no bed. Mm-hmm. So I had some blankets and some sheets. So I made a pallet in the living room. Mm-hmm. And I went to sleep and woke up the next morning, went to work, and just I just kept moving. I just kept moving forward. Like it's no need to have any anger towards her or whatever. I was angry towards her, but I wasn't gonna show it.
And let this be a lesson to everybody that's watching, because you don't know what people are going through when you talk to your coworkers and shit like that.
Yeah.
If I was to go to work, I wouldn't have known any of that was happening to like my coworkers, right?
Right.
We have to be more cautious when we deal with our coworkers. People be going through some shit.
Yeah, they do. You know what I'm saying?
I have a coworker right now who going through it. He's like severely depressed and I tried to pick him up or be nice to him because you can clearly see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
The nigga is like just one step away from playing in traffic. Like,
wow,
it is there.
Yeah.
And so you gotta be careful how you deal with people.
You do have to be careful how you deal with people because, like you say, you never know what someone is really going through. Mm-hmm. You never know it. And as much as I bullshit around and talk shit while we at work and stuff like that, I try to be conscious of how I interact with everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't never try to say anything necessarily personal. You know what I'm saying? I try to leave everything, somewhat work related. Unless someone says something to me, I'll never say that like, well, shit, man, fuck that bitch. Man, fuck that bitch. You see all these holes in here? Mm-hmm. No, I'm never gonna do that part. Hey, we try to figure a way how to work it out. And if you don't want to work it out, hey, I'm still gonna be right here with you in some type of way of showing support. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you really have to be careful because even when my kids was younger, I used to tell my kids all the time, man, don't be going to school messing with these kids, bullying these kids, because you don't know what these kids is going through. Sometimes going to school or going to work is your safe haven. Mm-hmm. That's your safe place. And the last thing you need to do is be picked on or stressed or fucked with while you at school or at work. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you one situation away from playing in traffic. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you said that shit, man, because that shit is shit is real.
Yeah, I learned that by going through my own trials and tribulations with life, and I learned to not walk on eggshells with people, mm-hmm. but more or less just be more compassionate, be more empathetic with people.
Yeah,
like I said, you never know what motherfuckers going through.
You don't. That's what you gotta have that empathy and sympathy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's where that's where your social living skills should kick in as an adult. Mm-hmm. If you have social living skills. Social living skills is something that people don't realize that we all have to have. Mm-hmm. You have to have some type of social living skill. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize the world ain't all about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to realize the world is about other people as well. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize that everybody, even though we live on this same planet together, we see everything different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How you go through your situation, we can have the exact same situation. How you go through is going to be different than how I go through it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How you deal with it is going to be different than how I deal with it. And that's why I tell people a lot of times, 2 plus 2 ain't always 4. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We can have the same exact situation, but we deal with it exactly. We deal with it extremely differently. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta, like you said, man, we gotta be aware of our surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of what we're saying to people. That you just don't just fly off the hinges and just be talking crazy to people, thinking that it's okay.
Shit, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, it is. But when you got divorced and everything was said and it was finalized, what was that like for you?
For me, it was a journey. It was a little bit of a journey. I had to relearn myself and mm-hmm. relearn what I wanted out of life.
Right.
But as far as with me and her, it was like when we was in high school. Because when we was in high school, if you saw her, you saw me.
Yeah.
We was kind of like we were best of friends.
Right.
And once we got divorced and we stopped being around each other so much to the point we wanted to choke each other out, we became cool again. So
for real?
Mm-hmm. That's my dog. I talk to her at least once or twice a week. My daughter, we have a kid together.
Yeah. How many children do y'all have together?
One.
Oh, okay.
And she got her own phone. So I'll call or text my daughter, every day, every other day. But then my ex-wife, I'll just be like, hey, you good? Yeah, everything's straight. Or when I go and pick up my daughter, mm-hmm. what should be a 5-10 minute pickup turn into like an hour and a half. We sit up there talking shit, watching TV. I'm like, damn, I've been here an hour. I gotta go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Different than me.
Mm-hmm. And she was very. I think we were supportive of each other because she was supportive for me when I lost my sister.
Yeah,
and I was supportive for her when she lost her family member that passed away maybe a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's still my dog.
You better than me because when she left, when my ex-wife left, that was it. That was it. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say that was it. I tried to be cordial, but the shit just didn't work. Mm-hmm. It just didn't work out. I tried to be cordial, tried to be cool and things like that, you know what I'm saying? But it just didn't work out. And then my kids told me I was going through a midlife crisis because I had always been in a relationship since probably like my junior year of high school.
Okay.
And I had broke up with my me and my high school sweetheart had broke up, and then within like 2 years after that, I met my ex-wife. And then we were together from 1995 or 1996. From 1995 and 96 up until 2016.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And shit, when that shit happened, boy, I was just out there.
Mhm.
I was dating. I was on every dating app. You know, I was on all the Tinder, swipe left, swipe right.
I never been on Tinder.
I was on all that shit.
I'm scared.
I was on all that shit. I was going to all the hole in the wall bars in the city of Detroit. I was going to tip. Have you ever heard of Tipping In?
No.
There's a bar in Tipping In on the east side. There's a hole in the wall. Everybody like, you shouldn't go there. They be having all type of issues in there. I was going there.
Why I'm a West Side baby.
You know, I was going to it's a bar on the west side. Shit. It's a bar on the west side that I would go to all the time. Bank holes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they call it bank holes for the stank holes, is what they called it. I was going there, man. I used to drive around with a fifth in my trunk, some red cups in my trunk, and some condoms in my armrest.
Just in case.
Yeah, you never know. and sometimes I'm glad I had the condoms in my armrest.
Okay.
You know, but my kids were like, Dad, you going through a midlife crisis? I mean, I was only like 40-something years old at the time. And I was in denial. I'm not going through a midlife crisis, but when I look back and I think about it, I was going through a midlife crisis.
You know what? I would thought that midlife crisis would be like you buy a Camaro or a Hellcat or some shit.
But you doing shit that you've never done before. I always wanted a sports car, but I never bought one. Now I'm about to buy one and drive the fuck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I never had this. I never had this type of. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get me a motherfucking studio apartment. I ain't never had one of those before. I want to walk around the whole motherfucking butt ass naked. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know, a midlife crisis can consist of a lot of shit.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because I never dated like that before. You know what I'm saying? I never just dealt with multiple women at the same times or whatever before. I was always with her or with her. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm with you, I'm just with you.
Right.
It ain't no extra shit. You know what I'm saying?
Curriculars.
No, But then I ain't had nobody to be. I wasn't committed to nobody. I wasn't obligated to nobody. Oh shit. I kept Magnum in business.
I feel that.
You know, but you said not too long ago how you said your ex-wife supported you during your sister's passing. Mm-hmm. You know, and how was that, you know, for you when who was older, you or your sister?
I was.
And how was that with was it just y'all two?
No, 4 of us.
Oh, okay. Was she the baby or?
So it was me, my sister that passed, my next sister who was 26, and then my baby sister who was 22.
So you the only guy. Mm-hmm. You the big brother of everybody.
Yeah. And
then when your sister passed away, how did that even come about? Because I remember you saying your sister was sick, you know, and you was taking care of her, and I'm like, well, shit, that's what's up. You got a sister. Your sister has somebody, you know, a sibling that's gonna take care of her, and not just pawn her off on the parents.
Shit, you know what? First thing first, with all 4 of us, we all we got, right? So we stay in communication. Mm-hmm. So anything one person need, we got us. And so when she said, it started off as like back pain.
Yeah.
And when she went to go get it checked out, they was like it was sciatic nerve. Mm-hmm. But then it ended up being cancer. But it ended up being like a rare cancer, a cancer so rare that most adults don't get. It's mostly towards children.
Oh, okay.
And so she was a fighter. Shit, she fought that shit for like a year, and then it was like a roller coaster because it was going bad, and then it went back up, and then when it went back down, it just went left, like completely left. Mm-hmm. Like I remember one day we was sitting up there joking, laughing, because I'm the jokester of all 4 of us.
Right.
Like, I'm playing practical jokes. I'm cracking jokes. When I'm with them, I'm truly myself.
Yeah.
So I'm cracking jokes and I'm laughing and shit. She laughing with us. The very next day, she like damn near like a vegetable.
Mm.
And then like maybe a week later, she passed. So it was highly aggressive.
So when you went from y'all laughing one day and then the next day she's like a vegetable, what was your mind like at that moment? What was you going through, mentally?
Shit, it was really difficult. It was really tough because I had to deal with that, my family, making sure that my family was good because I am not only the oldest, but I'm the only guy.
Right.
So I'm making sure my pops is good, my mom's good, my aunties, my stepmom's good. Like everybody's just like falling apart. And
right.
Of course, my sister's falling apart, and I'm like, I just had to suck it up. It was times where the only time that I could really show real emotion was when I was by myself.
Yeah.
So that was really the only time. And then, our job is very difficult to you have to be very straightforward.
Yeah.
You can't really show no emotion. So you dealing with work, you dealing with your personal life, which was my personal life was hard as fuck as it is, and then dealing with the family, it was a mess.
Now, did you talk to anybody? Had you talked to anybody during that time? And because I know, for myself, when you was, going, I didn't know the full extent of it, but I do, but I just know that, your sister was sick, and that even goes back to what we were saying earlier. Be aware of what's going on with your coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I knew that what you was going through. So a lot of times, the way I would bullshit with you before,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't bullshit with you like that at that moment, because I'm like, I'm sure you don't mind me bullshitting with him, but I don't want to do it and cause a trigger of some sort.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that I was walking on eggshells, nothing like that. It was more like we said earlier, having that empathy and sympathy. But I wasn't gonna be like, I wasn't gonna be like, come on, Diaz, give me a hug.
Yeah,
give me.
I definitely took it like it was you was taking. It was, I don't want to say courtesy, but like you was just being courteous to what I was dealing with. And most people, everybody in our department, what we do, they know that I don't like to be touched.
Right.
Unless she's really cute, then I'm okay with it. But for the most part, I didn't. I just wanted to deal with it on my own and try to figure it out. And it was really difficult. And I didn't talk to a lot of people. The people that I did talk to, I kind of like gave them like limited information or like kind of like a need to know, because I was taught to just keep it in the family and then figure it out later. And so by me being like emotional or being like sad and things like that, I just kept it to a minimum to the family, and I let them see that my family. Everybody else outside of the family, not really. It sometimes it's kind of hard to not show it. You know what I'm saying? Because people are always constantly in your face.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want people around, and you kind of like push them away.
Right.
And sometimes they just kind of like bogart their way in, like, no, it's okay. No, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you always gotta give people that space, and then at the same time, when people are gonna let you know when it's okay to come into that space. The last thing you really want to do is just invade that space.
A lot of people don't understand those type of social cues. Get the fuck out my face.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because all right, the last thing, because sometimes you gotta put yourself in somebody's shoes the best way that you can. If it was me, is this what I would really want somebody to do to me? You know what I'm saying? But then again, I may be okay with it, and that's the reason why I'm doing it to you now. Because I'm good with that. And then even when you're going through that, maybe you gotta understand that maybe this is how they are. Maybe this is how they deal with shit, but it's just not how I deal with shit. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you may have to let that person know, like, look, man, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But now you continue going right now. I'm gonna have to get a little. I'm gonna have to go a little further with it. Man, leave me the fuck alone right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get the cue not right now. I'll talk to you about it later. I got an X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And you can't get none of them cues. Now I gotta really be rude and tell you, leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it right now. I'm gonna beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't get that, and you had to try to do your best to try to not necessarily push them away, but just to let them know I just need this space for right now, because I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine because I haven't went through it, but I could imagine. You know, if anything happened, because it's just me and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me and my sister. You know, we get the same birthday, but we 6 years apart from each other.
That's crazy. 6 years apart, y'all got the same birthday?
Yeah, we 6 years apart, and we got the same birthday. And you know, I can imagine if anything was to happen to my sister, like you know what you had to go through. I don't know if I would be able to deal with it the way that you dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Granted that you know your overtime just
completely stopped.
Yeah,
because everybody know that I'm a real overtime fan. Like, I work my ass off, and then they knew something was wrong when a nigga stopped coming to work.
Yeah,
when they see me do 8 and skate, they like, the fuck is he doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, that was my first indication that something wasn't right. You don't kick it with us no more on the afternoon shift. You don't fuck with us no more, man. What's going on? And then you finally said, you know, what you was going through with your sister. I'm like, oh, all right, okay, all right. I get it now.
I believe like motherfuckers really thought that I was like lying, like just to get out of work. I'm like, no, because I would the hospital that she was at was like 35, 40 minutes from our location to where we work.
Yeah.
So if I get off at 3:30, I had to get there as fast as I could because visiting hours ended like around 7 o'clock, I think. And the traffic was so bad, so 30 minutes on the GPS was probably like an hour.
Right.
So I wouldn't get home till probably like 10 o'clock at night just to come back here at our location at 7 in the morning. That was crazy in itself. I don't even know how I did that shit. And half the time I was exhausted.
I imagine so. I mean, but like you said earlier, though, you know, I'm gonna say it again that you just don't know what somebody's really going through. You know, at work. I mean, it baffles me to think that somebody thought that you was playing.
They thought,
you know what I'm saying? But I just don't, because it's me, because of who I am. I would never sit up here and say a person in my family is sick when they not sick, because then when they become sick and this shit happen, I'm gonna feel like shit. I jinxed them. I did something to them. I can never fathom how people play like that.
Look, when I got the phone call that it had turned from the worst, it was 2 phone calls. One when she actually passed, and then like a couple months prior, when they told us that it was going bad. Right. So I get the call. I'm at work, and I'm like sobbing. I'm like, because she's what do they call us? Irish twins.
Okay.
So we 13 months apart.
All right.
Like me, her. We was really, really close. We grew up. Now, not only did we grow up together, but like we was really, really close. Yeah. So I'm like sobbing, like snot bubbles and shit. Like I'm like, I gotta go. I'm talking to our supervisor, and he just like, if you just have to. I'm like, I'm not asking you.
If I have to,
I'm telling you, I'm leaving. I'm like, I'm out of here. And so,
if I have to, the fuck you mean if I have to?
If you just have to, I guess. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I'm gone, because we didn't know. We didn't know if it was to that day or. Yeah. Luckily, she hung out. She hung out for like a couple more months, and she ended up getting better. Yeah. Then she ended up going worse. So.
Yeah, you know, it just, you know, that shit. How some people deal with other people's grief sometimes baffles the fuck out of me.
Because it don't happen to them.
Yeah, it just baffles. It just baffles the fuck out of me how. Because maybe it's because, like I said earlier, because we all live in this world and we all, but we all see the world differently. But the way I see the world is, I try to put myself in someone else's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I can never just sit there and be like, "Do you have to leave? Can she make it a couple more hours without you?"
Right?
Nah, motherfucker. It ain't no. Can she make it a couple more? I'm gone. Because I remember. This isn't no comparison, but a couple of years ago, I had another the dog I told you about earlier, Chulo. He got sick. He was real sick, and then I found him in his crate, like laying down, barely responsive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I had to get him up, had to carry him up the stairs, out to the car, and the blanket to the veterinarian. I mean, don't this don't compare nothing to your sister.
Mm-hmm.
But went to the vet, and the vet was like, he was 13 years old. That's old for a dog. They're like, look, we can do some certain, but it's gonna take a lot for him to recover because he's that old.
Right.
And I had to come down with the all right, well, I gotta put him down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit wasn't cheap. I was like, all right, so we gonna put him down, and they put him down in front of me.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? They bring him in the room, put the tubes in him. They tell you what's all about to happen. The shit feel like an execution to me. like he was on death row and shit. That's what the shit felt like to me. And he literally just, as much as you try to pet to get the last pets in, the last everything in, the bullshit lie is gonna be okay. And no, it ain't gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You about to be gone.
Yeah.
And
what do you say? I remember I had an ex and she went through the same thing that with your dog, and I was there for moral support. And at the time, this was like before my sister had passed, so I was kind of like immune to like death at that point, just because we done seen it doing what we do.
Yeah.
So, you've seen one death, you've seen it all. We done seen hundreds of people die. So we like, whatever, okay. So she going through it, she crying and shit. I'm like, it's a fucking dog. Who cares? But when my sister died, I kind of regained that humanity, I guess, that empathy of, oh wow, people care. You know what I'm saying? Because my homegirl, she had the same issue not too long ago. And she's a real dog person. She was crying about her dog. And I'm just like, again, this was before my sister passed. So I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's a fucking mutt. Who cares?
Yeah.
You can get another one. But then when my sister, I'm like, you know what? You care about something. You care about that person or that animal or that thing.
And I'm glad you said that too, because I had a friend of mine that he's a dog lover. And his dogs would get sick, and he had to put the dogs down. And I would always joke and bullshit with him but at the same time, I think I was like semi-serious. Let the dog out and eat some grass. It'll be okay. Let the dog eat some grass. And like, man, you an asshole, man. My dog is dying. And I had to put the dog down. Well, she ate some grass. And then he's an online friend of mine that when I play the game, I'm online. I talk to him all the time. And I was telling him, man, I had to put my dog down, man. I was sad. See that? That? Now you know. Now, did you tell your dog to eat some grass? Like, no, man. They put the dog down in front of me, man. No. You told me to tell my dog to eat some grass. Did your dog eat some grass?
Mm-hmm.
I had to sit back and think about it. Like, damn, I did say that shit, man. Now I understand.
You reaping what you said.
Yeah,
like,
and
damn,
I understand what I understand what he was going through. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people are so non-sympathetic to what you're going through because they not going through it.
Yeah, and I'm a victim of it because I didn't give a shit. I didn't care about. I done seen it so many times that I'm like, okay, whatever. Just another body, whatever. Just another number.
Right, but I couldn't have fathomed how I would feel if anything, happened to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not even exactly sure how you did it. To be honest, to come to work every day, knowing that your sister was going through this, going through that, coming, and then when she went home, I don't even know how you dealt with it coming back to work as soon as you came back to work.
You know what? Honestly, I don't know because I want to say I'm still dealing with it, right?
Yeah.
But I had, because so many things were happening in my life, whether it was my family with my sister, and then my personal life, like it was just like a lot of shit going on. So I needed some type of outlet,
right?
And so I was like, well, fuck, I guess I'll just come back to work. I guess I remember when my lieutenant, he was like, I came into work one day, and he was surprised because I wasn't even on the schedule. He was just like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Right.
And I was like, well, I wasn't sure if I was able to come to work. He was like, get the fuck out of here. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but he was like, leave, go home.
Yeah.
He was like, I got you off the schedule for like the next week. Just go home. And I was like, okay. But mainly, Don Julio and Hennessy really helped the nigga out. Not held the nigga down.
Not did you find yourself drinking more because of it, or was you just or you still being social with the drinking?
For sure. I was fucked up. I was fucked up all of November, December, and she died January 10th. So in January, February is like the first month that I would say I'm kind of like sober, because I was drinking every day from November 1st to January 31st.
Right.
And so I think what made me sober up a little bit more is the fact that I just realized she gone.
Right.
Nigga, she gone. There ain't nothing you can do about it. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And me and my sister, we were both gym rats. So we would go to the gym together. We'd be at the gym at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, just working out, and we were really, really fit. And so I wanted to get back to that. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't continue drinking like this, because it's an endless cycle.
Yeah, it is.
You drink heavy, you wake up fucked up the next morning, your mood is fucked up, you get off of work, you want to go to sleep, but then you end up doing the same shit all over again.
Right.
And so it was a cycle. And so
the sister that passed away, y'all was both gym rats.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, like you said, well, she did. She can't come back, which I don't, however. I could never fan it. That always made me cringe. Like, well, she did. They ain't coming back. Like, God damn, how can you say that? But
and that's one thing, because like a lot of people didn't never really understand our dynamic.
Yeah, we
both have very dark sense of humor, and so
I think you gotta have a dark sense of humor to do what we do.
For sure.
Yeah,
but we just really dark people. So when we joke, I try to be at least somewhat tasteful. You know what I'm saying? I try to be as tasteful as possible, and I think I represented well for her.
Right. Now, is there anything that you do to honor her in any type of way? I mean, it could be to wear a bracelet. It could be anything.
Yeah. Me and all my sisters, we're actually planning on getting some tats. Like within the next month or so.
Okay.
Everybody's schedule's fucked up, so we trying to coordinate that. So my sister, she had a tattoo of a music note on her left ear.
Okay.
So we all just gonna get that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And then she graduated from Oakland University, and I keep her ring.
Oh, okay. You may want to show that to the camera, man.
You can't really see it. Yeah. It's just a silver ring with a white gemstone.
Oh, okay. My daughter graduated from Oakland University. Yeah, my youngest daughter graduated from Oakland University, because I think the biggest, other than my dog passing away, the biggest death I dealt with so far, was my grandmother when she passed away, and This is probably where I get all my beer drinking from. Because my grandmother, she drunk beer to the day she damn near passed away, and I think that's the reason. I think that's why she ended up passing away, because she was in the hospital and couldn't drink any beer. I think that's what happened. I think that's what ended up happening. But my grandmother used to talk so much shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing against you. It's just who she was. Was just to talk shit. Mm-hmm. If I didn't come over there for like a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, she would answer the door and like, "Do I know you? Mm-hmm. Are you selling me something?" And like, Granny, it's me. Oh, I had a grandson that looked like you.
It's me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But she would talk shit, and I truly believe, that's where, I get the shit talking that I have. Mm-hmm. I believe I literally get it from her, because I remember one time I used to live with her some years ago, and she, in her basement was like a full basement, mm-hmm. like a 1-bedroom apartment. It had a bed down there, had a bathroom down there, had a living room area down there, had a kitchen down there, had a bar like this down there. It was his own living space. I think I was sick with the flu, and I was down there for like 3 or 4 days. And I finally came upstairs, and she was like, "What graces me with your presence?" I'm like, "Granny, I've been sick. I've been down there going through it. You know what I'm saying? You brought me chicken noodle soup down there. My mother came by and brought me chicken noodle soup and all this shit like that. I was going through it, but she would just always, talk shit. And if you didn't have that type of sense of humor, you would take it personally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of the sense of humor that I have, is it don't come from a hard place, but then I can also take sense of humor from someone else that may seem to be harsh, because shit, I've been dealing with it my whole goddamn life. So your sense of humor doesn't bother me none whatsoever.
Right.
I'm just gonna give it right back to you, because I know I know how to I know how to do it. And even with even with all that, you coming back from work, you going to being off work, coming back in. Did they send you a card?
Yeah. My department was very accommodating. Okay. I couldn't ask for more. They sent flowers, cards, money. They were very, very accommodating. I appreciate that.
That's great, again, because I don't work for places that was just like, all right, when you come back to work.
Right. Honestly, I was expecting that, because I didn't think that they gave a fuck that much. So like my chief and my lieutenants and my sergeants, I didn't think they gave a fuck, to be quite honest.
Right.
Because it didn't happen. It's not happening to them. So why would they give a fuck?
Yeah.
But they was very, very accommodating. I was very, very surprised.
Yeah, man, because you gotta, when you going through something of that magnitude, or whatever magnitude is that you're going through, I think that shows wherever you're working at, that shows who they are as a not just as a company, but as individuals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna have our bad times together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have our disagreements all the goddamn time. But when it comes that time of a grief, where are you now? You know what I'm saying? And if you can show up, man, that's great, man. You know what I'm saying? You telling me, man, take your ass back home. You know what I'm saying? I could be 5 people short. Man, take your ass back home.
But I would rather for them to send me home than to be like, no, you gotta stay here, because I ain't no good to nobody.
Yeah.
If I'm fucked up in the head, or if Joe Blow is fucked up in the head and they not in their right state of mind, they gonna get us fucked up.
Right.
So you go to the crib, you get yourself together, and come back when you better.
And then earlier you also said that you were doing a shitload of drinking from November through January up until February. Mm-hmm. Now, how expensive was all that drinking, if you could estimate it? If you could estimate it, because I got a shitload of alcohol here, and I know this shit, I don't drink as much of it because I know the shit costs.
Nigga, it was expensive. I think because First off, I don't even drink no cheap shit. Okay, right. I don't drink Jerk, none of that shit. I don't drink none of that. It's Hennessy, Don Julio, and on certain days a Martell. I might fuck around with the Blue Swift.
Yeah, I got Martell.
Well, pull that shit up then. Pull that shit over here. And so I would probably say probably close to $3,000.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll probably say close to $3,000.
Close to $3,000?
Yeah.
Because
if I'm drinking 7 days a week, spending $100 a day, yeah, that probably.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If it's $100 a day, that's $700 for a 7-day week. I mean, 2 weeks, that's $1,400. So that's $2,800 in 4 weeks.
Shit, I probably make some days where I probably stretch it out, but for the most part, yeah, I probably have to say probably close to 3.
But how was you feeling when you would wake up though? Like I got to do this shit all over again.
Some days were better than most. So when I was always told that to get over a hangover, and I do not suggest you do this.
This is I
not try this at home. But if you need to get over a hangover, first thing you need to do is what? Take a shot.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say, and then eat something heavy. And so that's what I ended up doing. But I wasn't at work for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So
you missed 2 months?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like you missed 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it didn't seem like that.
I was off for like 2 months.
But and for those, well, I don't know if you want to say it or not though. But what was your sister's name again? I mean, you don't have to say it if you don't want to.
Nah.
All right, but we're gonna take this toast, to your sister.
Thank you.
May she rest in peace and bring you all type of, look down on you and bring you all type of joy as well.
For sure. Thank you.
But
did you check out the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I watched the Super Bowl.
So at the time of recording, it's probably like what, February 20th?
Yeah, it's like February 20th or 21st.
You checked out the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I called off on the Super Bowl. so whoever watching this know I called off on the Super Bowl now.
And I want y'all to know that I got mandated because of him. I want y'all to know that. So
no, I was at Fairlane. I wasn't here.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay.
I wasn't meant to be downtown.
A couple motherfuckers called off, and I was like, "Shit, I had to watch the Super Bowl on a TV. No, it was on a computer. On the computer while I'm answering calls.
Yeah,
but I ended up,
you.
But I did ended up catching the halftime performance, right?
Right.
And I know at this point it's like 2 weeks. About 2 weeks old. But this is our first time.
Last week was Valentine's, and the week before that was the Super Bowl.
Oh shit, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Kendrick performance?
I think the Kendrick performance was artistic.
Okay.
I think it was real artistic, and it was also real. This ain't a word. I'm probably being like Jesse Jackson now, but this was real asshole-ish. It was real asshole-ish because you looked dead at the camera and said Drake.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
And he played the song that Drake has been trying to sue him not to ever, that can't nobody play nowhere. And he still did it on a Super Bowl stage. And now everybody has this craze on TikTok that's doing that intro to the Super Bowl performance of night.
I'm literally watching it and I'm like, okay, he's performing it. Okay, cool. And he looked right into the camera. I was like, this is diabolical.
And I really don't think that. See, the first beef that Drake had was with Meek Mill.
No. No, it was Pusha T. It was Pusha T.
Oh, yeah. But them him and Pusha T and Meek Mill, I don't think that he dealt with nobody that could really
spit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He Meek Mill was all right. Pusha T is if you ask me, is more like, all right, this is more like local rapper that hasn't like you're looking at the A side of a record play and you look at the B side. Pusha T to me was more like that B side.
Yeah.
That you had to flip on the B side to listen to, like, oh, I guess that's all right. That's cool.
I can see that.
And then you had Meek Mill at the time that had them damn prison braids in his head. that didn't look like shit, but he killed them when he said it went from what did he say, something to trigger finger to Twitter fingers. And then I ended that.
Yeah.
Then he thought he was gonna get with. Then he thought Kendrick Lamar, who is if you ask me, is one of the best artists that's out there. And when I say artist, I mean like real art, not necessarily. He just so happened to be commercialized, but his art isn't commercial. You know what I'm saying? His art is who he is, and it touches and it touches and resonates through people like no other. Yeah. And he fucked around and fucked with the wrong one.
I think he fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
I definitely think that it was matureness, realizing that Family Matters, the song by Drake, was actually pretty fire.
Yeah.
It was. That was a hard ass diss. He wasn't expecting Not Like Us.
No.
I don't think so. Not at all.
I've never heard of a rapper. I've never heard of no hip hop artist, no rapper, no R&B singer, no country singer, no heavy metal rock and roll singer, nobody ever say, I'm suing you because you're not allowed to play this music, this song ever again in no venue.
But I think that the way Drake is going about it is like totally wrong, because what if Meek did the same thing to him with back to back? You know what I'm saying? So we would be clowning Meek Mill. I mean, we still do clown Meek, but we would have clowned him even harder if he would have did the same thing. I feel like it was an amazing battle. It was a superb battle. But you got to take your L sometimes.
Yeah,
but even now, because like I said, like it's February 20th at the time of recording, and Drake has released the album with one of his label mates, Party Next Door, that was released on Valentine's Day, called Some Sexy Songs for You. And so Party Next Door is an R&B singer that Drake signed.
Oh, that's the name? That's the name of the artist? I thought the name of a song.
No.
Party Next Door is the name of the artist.
Yeah, that's the name.
How the fuck I'm supposed to remember that long ass damn name, Party Next Door?
They abbreviated
what am I call you, Next Door?
They abbreviated to P&D.
I guess P&D. But P&D dead.
And he's very much alive.
But the other guy P&B.
Oh, you think about P&B Rock?
Yeah.
P&B Rock, yeah. No, P&D, Party Next Door. He is assignee to Drake's label OVO Sound, and they dropped a collab album together called Some Sexy Songs for You. That was for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And although it's not one of his highest charting albums by far, if you think about first week sales, because I think they projected at the time of this recording 250, 260.
Yeah.
Which is very, very high. Is going to be number one.
Right.
But his last album was like 500, 600,000 sales first week. But that's still really, really good compared to what they originally projected, because they was like 60,000, 50,000.
But that's pretty low for Drake, though, ain't it?
It is. It's very low, but it's still number one.
Right. You know, but what I think really happened with Drake is that We have a coworker that always say, light skin and dark skin. That light skinned motherfucker ran across the wrong dark skinned motherfucker. He barked up the wrong motherfucking tree. He barked up the wrong motherfucking tree. And it's crazy because if you ask me, Kendrick Lamar he reminds me of Nas.
Who?
Kendrick Lamar reminds me of Nas.
Okay.
Because Nas is a pure artist. He's not necessarily a crossover artist.
Uh-huh.
But Kendrick Lamar crossed over from Not Like Us. Mm-hmm. And when these motherfuckers are singing Not Like Us, they don't understand what the hell they saying. Mm-hmm. And if you ask me, Drake barked up the wrong dark skinned tree.
But the question is, you got a major hit, right? This is arguably the biggest hit that Kendrick Lamar has had. And not to take anything from Kendrick, he got multiple hits.
Yeah.
Like his belt is pretty hefty. But can he do it again? And that's the thing that people don't see. Drake has proved himself for 15 fucking years that he can do it again and again and again.
But he never did it to that magnitude as far as this.
To this, yes.
Yes, he's been dissed. Kendrick Lamar diss is up there with Ice Cube's No Vaseline. If you ever heard No Vaseline, he's up there with Tupac's Hit 'Em Up.
I think No Vaseline is better than Hit 'Em Up, but yeah.
I mean, but they up there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that Kendrick Lamar diss is right up there with them too.
If
it's the top three.
If I had to say the top 5, it will probably be Not Like Us, No Vaseline, Back to Back with Drake, Hit 'Em Up, Tupac, and then Stump by Young Buck. Mm-hmm. So the one Buck Stump by Young Buck, it was a remix. It was either a remix or it was but nonetheless, it was Ludacris. This was back when Ludacris was beefing with T.I.
Yeah.
And he was like, get off the TIP of my dick.
Yeah. I remember that shit.
That gotta be top 5 right there. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know those diss tracks, man, is if you ask me, I think if you ask me, I think it's Hit 'Em Up, No Vaseline, and then the others that you said. Mm-hmm. Because Hit 'Em Up was like straight direct, and I'm talking about you. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I done called your names out on this shit, and I'm talking about you.
But if you
No Vaseline is I'm talking about you, and I'm putting you out there. You don't live in Compton no more. You live up in the hills or wherever it is. I'm talking about you and you only. Kendrick Lamar. He put he put some innuendos out there, but at the same time, he came on camera and said Drake, and then went into it. I'm talking about you. You don't gotta think twice about who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of these diss songs, you got like, damn. If you ain't into hip hop like that, you have to understand. Well, damn, who is he talking about? I don't know who he's talking about. But if you're not into hip hop like that, but when you put a name on the shit, nigga, I fucked your wife.
But you have to think about when we think about rap beef, right? When we talk about rap beef, it's usually a one-on-one. Right?
Yeah.
It's usually a one-on-one. And Drake's defense, right? It was a 20v1. Like the nigga was going through half the industry. You had Metro Boomin, who's a fucking producer. You had A$AP Rocky. You had Future, The Weeknd, who is a fucking R&B singer. You had Kendrick Lamar. Like all these people just started ganging up on him, which is not fair in itself. But whatever. Drake stood 10 toes down and he took care of all of them.
But Pac did the same thing. He ain't just talk about Biggie. He talked about
Junior Mafia.
He talked about Junior Mafia. He talked about
Bad Boy.
Well, Bad Boy as a whole staff and record label, as he said. He talked about what's the other rap group that had Prodigy?
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep. You got sickle cell, nigga. You barely living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He talked about Jay-Z, Hawaiian Soapy fame. He talked about he even talked about the Fugees.
But that's not fair because that's like, but none of them motherfuckers responded to that, right?
No,
but
he put their name on there.
That's true.
And you got an option to respond or not respond. But I'm telling you who I'm talking about.
But that's like everybody responding to 50 Cent. You remember his song "How to Rob"?
Yeah, but
he named a bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah, but 50 Cent,
they didn't respond to him.
50 Cent disses is like 50 Cent disses is like he only had one album, if you ask me.
At what? At
Get Rich or Die Trying, whatever. That was his only album that he had, if you ask me. All the other ones, because 50 Cent got his shit off of trying to piss people off on purpose.
Well, at that time, he was signed with Columbia. At that time, when he dropped "How to Rob," that was like in '99, maybe 2000, and so at that point, he was trying to get his buzz up. That was before he got shot. Good. I was about to say Good Kid, Mad City. Get Rich or Die Trying came out in 2003.
Yeah.
At that point, he was signed with Shady and Aftermath, Eminem, and Dr. Dre. At that point, he was already propelled in stardom because the motherfucking album sold like 13 million. It went diamond.
Yeah, it went diamond, and I mean, even to this day, 50 Cent sells shit off of controversy.
Yes,
that's what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. He ended Ja Rule's career. He ended Ja Rule's career because Ja Rule was hot to the motherfucker. He ended Ja Rule's career. But if you ask me, you know, when it comes to putting it out there, if you ask me, Tupac was the top artist that you really didn't want to cross, because when he put your ass out there, he put your ass out there. I mean, people don't know that he went out on Jay-Z, he went out on Nas, he went out on what the motherfucker with sickle cell again?
Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep. Shit, he fucked Biggie's wife. He talked about Biggie. Yeah, shit. I don't know if he allegedly he laid her ass down and went through her. You know, he went through even this guy named Haitian Jack. I don't know if you ever watched any documentaries, but there's a guy named Haitian Jack that he went in on, and Haitian Jack was not a guy to fuck with. Matter of fact, I think Haitian Jack was the guy that put the hit out on him in New York when he first got shot 5 times.
Okay.
But I think what it was that Puffy put Haitian Jack on the shit, paid Haitian Jack to do the shit.
Okay.
It didn't work out, and Pac ended up having the wrong beef with Biggie because Biggie didn't know nothing about the shit, but he was right because it was Puffy that had something to do with the shit, because everybody that died, Puffy had something to do with.
Allegedly.
Because he was around when Pac got shot. He was there when Biggie got shot. And everybody puts Diddy there. They put Diddy because Diddy hired the Crips to protect him, so to speak. Allegedly. Yeah, we don't know, but allegedly, you know. But when it comes to this, when it comes to motherfucker just putting you out there, shit, man, that motherfucker Pac put you out there.
I think that the best diss writer, definitely not Pac, because it was all of maybe 2-3 songs that he did that to, and it wasn't like a long thing. The person who has the most diss, I will probably have to say probably 50. It got to be 50, because although he makes money off of controversy by calling people out, yes, that's his MO.
Yeah.
But he does it nonetheless, and he does it the most than anybody. He didn't give a fuck who it was. He said, fuck Brian McKnight, Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, Kanye West. He don't give a fuck who you are. And
no, he don't.
He would diss you if he think that Big Meech, like,
but I don't think his diss have sold or changed the industry. This is having changed the industry. Everybody like, well, this is 50, nigga. I just canceled BMF.
Yeah,
50 has power.
Yeah,
50 has power compared to everybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that power itself says a lot, and it does a lot. Like, nigga, I'm canceling B. Your daddy came out of prison. Nigga, he with Rick Ross. BMF gone. And then here go Lil Meech. I fuck with you. Nah, if you fuck with me, you tell me fuck your daddies. I don't want to fuck with you now.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
You could tell Lil Meech is not really from the streets for real.
But he can't be.
He can't, because the way he copping pleas left and right,
you fucking his bag up.
Yeah.
You fucking his bag up.
But he was fucking his bag up way before his dad got out from according to 50. You know, he blew $5 million because he made $5 million off of BMF.
Yeah.
But that's what you get for buying all that chrome heart, all them chrome heart jeans, all them funny looking shit. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think the shit gonna end?
Yeah.
You don't think the shit gonna end?
But that's being young and dumb.
Yeah. Because I want to touch on this too a little bit. Is because if you're not financial literate, that means you're financially illiterate.
Yeah.
And that means that I believe that we've all went through this shit, you know, regardless if it was a couple $1,000s or a few $1,000s or even a minimum of a few $100s. I'm about to go get this shit right here. And Kanye said it best. Kanye said this best with I forget what song it was, but he also said it. Hey, I'm just trying to spend $400 to say I'm up on this and you ain't.
Yeah.
I'm up on this, you not up on this. You know, for Versace, you trying to say Versace. I mean, it's part of the record, it's part of the album. Yeah. You said, pass me that Versace? No, nigga, it's Versace. You know what I'm saying? Just to say, nigga, I'm up on this and you not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you financially illiterate, you don't understand that everything that you're buying is a debt. You know what I'm saying? None of this shit is a credit, because when you buy these $5,000 blue jeans, that's a debt. You can't make no money off this shit no more.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like the same bras that be out there when they get their taxes, because it's tax season.
Yeah, it's tax season.
They get that 8,000, 7,000 check
because they got 5 kids.
They know what they gonna do. They finna go buy a fucking car that they can't fucking afford.
Or the nigga gonna flip it. And he don't flip it. Yeah.
And then look at you, fucked up for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and that's because you got to be financial literate of some sort. You know, it don't matter if you put the shit in stocks and bonds, if you put the shit in something to increase your money. Even if it's buying a home, you know what I'm saying. But what I used to tell people a lot of time when I used to work with juveniles in a juvenile facility is that people are visual. So if I see you with a nice car, if I see you with nice clothes, I don't see you at home. I don't see you in the basement. I don't see your home ain't shit. I see you got a nice car, nice clothes, nice women, nice all this shit. And this is what I want. And now I'll go out there and buy the latest outfits. I buy the latest cars. I buy the latest jewelry. But this shit ain't worth a goddamn thing when it comes down to the get down, because I can have what you perceive to be nothing, but my credit score is 800, and I can get whatever the fuck I want to get. That's because I'm responsible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That money that you constantly cashing out on don't say shit. You can't get no house.
Yeah,
you can't get no car in your name. You can't get no house in your name. You can get some clothes. You can get some food. But the shit that matters the most, you can't get shit. You don't have not one credit card. I got a black. I don't have a black card personally, but I got a black card. That black card says more than what your money say.
And it's crazy that you said that because I was talking to somebody the other day, and you know that 50 Cent line, damn homie, in high school you was the man, homie.
Yeah.
I said that to somebody because shit, in high school you was the man.
Yeah.
Now you fucked up.
Right.
You looking real bad, my boy.
Yes.
And I could tell that you don't have real education and you don't have real life experience because you taking your money and you blowing it and you bullshitting or you doing shit with it. I'm by no means am I saying that I'm a multi-millionaire,
right,
or I'm a billionaire, or I don't have no courses facility. But I am responsible somewhat, and I'm comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can drive whatever I want. I have multiple houses. I can live wherever I want.
Yeah.
That's because I'm responsible. A lot of them niggas don't understand that. I don't understand. They don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll learn eventually.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. You know, they're gonna get it. I mean, hopefully they end up getting it, but like I say, we're as people we're visual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you see everybody wearing the latest this, the latest that, all you want to do is get the latest this, the latest that. You don't care about the responsibility that it takes to get there. You know what I'm saying? You don't care that I got to pay these damn bills to make sure that my credit score gets whatever. You don't understand that I got to go through this, that, and the third to be able to get the things that I want. But at the same time, that motherfucker out there that's getting straight cash is living a stressful life.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly looking over your back. You're constantly worried about who's trying to take something from you. You know what I'm saying? Because you may very much well end up dead on these streets. You know what I'm saying? And you know, but to go back to what we was, you know, talking about as far as financial literacy, you know, I believe that schools need to, I'm not sure if they do or not right now, but schools need to educate people, not just in these suburban cities, but some of these inner cities, on financial literacy.
I believe that too. Because I could say when I went to school, my mom taught me how to do everything.
Yeah.
My mom taught me how to balance a checkbook. She taught me how to do my taxes. And I ain't talking like at 15, 16, like 10.
Yeah.
I was balancing the house bills at 11 years old.
Right.
And that was because she taught me that. When I went to school, they weren't teaching that type of shit.
No.
They was just trying to get us through that motherfucker so we can get the fuck out of their hair.
Right.
I actually had a math teacher, no lie, right hand to God. Homegirl went to sleep in the middle of class. And so everybody, the whole entire class is just going crazy. They throwing paper off shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the front of the class because I'm doing what I do. I'm a hustler, so I was hustling in the class, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, what we do, Miss Teacher?
Yeah.
She oh, well, 10 minutes before class, just do it for homework. I'm like, bitch, you ain't teach us nothing.
Right.
So yeah.
You know, but you know, it's crazy how, you know, everybody's life runs parallel to one another in some way, shape, or fashion. You know, because some of the stories that you told, I can relate to, because the shit happened to me. Maybe not in the exact way, but the shit happened to me in those ways, and some of the things that happened to me may not necessarily happen to you exactly, but they run parallel to one another. And you really, and like, it even goes back to what you said earlier. You never know what somebody's going through, but at the same time, you never really understand how much we have in common either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Till you have these conversations, and then you realize, like, damn, you went through that too. Shit, I went through it too. I went through it this way, but I went through it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that, you know, as men, because as men, that we're not supposed to. Society says we're not supposed to show no type of emotion. We shouldn't express anything, you know, no signs of weakness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me, weakness is not admitting to where you got to hold accountability, like you said earlier. You got to hold yourself accountable for these things. Weakness is not is acting as if you don't have no shortcomings. The strength comes from when you can be vulnerable. Now, I'm not saying be vulnerable as far as just crying in front of every goddamn body.
Right.
No, I ain't about to cry in front of every goddamn body, but at you gotta be vulnerable somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's family, close friends, or whatever, you gotta have some type of vulnerability to show that you're human. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And we gotta do that. And with that, doesn't mean that you're weak when you show it.
Right.
If you ask me, it shows a strength. But I ain't, like I said earlier, man, I ain't trying to, don't go crying in front of every goddamn body. You know what I'm saying? But when you got somebody that you confident in, regardless if it's a therapist, a family member, a friend, be vulnerable.
I think it's very important. You have to. I was taught that you can't show weakness. When you show emotion, you show weakness. And I took that up into my adult life, up until when I got divorced. And then I realized that, you got to be vulnerable to somebody. Otherwise, you're just going to be alone. And you have to have somebody where you can confide in.
Right.
That's just the way life works. Otherwise, you're just going to be a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Killing everybody. But you have to be vulnerable at some point. And I'm not saying be vulnerable. You at work and you just doing work, and then you just start crying. Like, that's crazy. But you got your little yeah. You know what I'm saying? You be vulnerable to her.
Yeah. Is she worthy of it?
Is she worthy of it?
Yeah.
But you know what I really hate? This new age, what the fuck they be calling themselves? High level men, and you know what I'm saying, that type of bullshit. What they call them, red pill.
I don't know what they call them.
So they be having like podcasts, and they be talking about how they're more important than women, and but they don't bring nothing to the table. And I'm like, yo, that's not how shit works.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Men are designed to provide, right?
Right. Provide and protect.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They like, oh well, women, they should just put up with my bullshit, and I think that I should have 30 11 wives, and you need to be making $3 million. And I'm like, no, that's not how life works.
Nah.
You have to. I feel like men are designed to protect and provide.
Right.
Cool. Your woman's supposed to pick up the slack that you fall from,
and vice versa.
Yeah. Because you're a team,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's whoever I end up with. That's my teammate, and my goal has to go in line with what she wants,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You have to be equally yoked. A lot of people forget that shit.
You do have to be equally yoked, and you have to have that understanding for one another. Because, like I told you earlier, my girlfriend likes to travel, and where I come from, all I do is work.
Mm-hmm.
And because she likes to travel, she said, "You need to start taking more time off. You need to start doing this. You need to start doing that." Okay, all right. I'm gonna try it. It ain't gonna be easy, but I'm gonna try it because I hate not having.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I associate not having with not working.
Right.
If I ain't working, I mean I ain't making no money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I have to understand that part also, that I gotta not just live life, but you gotta enjoy life too.
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And part of enjoying life is gonna be painful. It's gonna be happy. It's gonna be it's gonna be everything under the sun when you're enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Because life ain't always gonna be happy all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Life ain't always gonna be sad all the time either.
Mm-hmm.
But life is gonna be life. Now I tell people all the time this right here. Life hasn't changed. It's how we go about life that has changed.
That's true.
Because we're still gonna breathe the air. We're still gonna be either happy. We're still gonna be either mad. Regardless of whether we're gonna be happy, we're gonna be sad. But the way life has changed is, okay, I went from not having a TV to having TV.
Yeah.
I went from with no electricity and gas and flames to having electricity. But the one thing about life that hasn't changed is that I gotta make a difference in life. I gotta be able to accept life for what it is, the good with the bad with the good, the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that part hasn't changed. It's just the way of life. We don't live in huts no goddamn more. We don't live outside with an actual cabin as a home where you are made out of logs and you put some mud in between the logs to keep the shit. The way of life is always going to elevate and change. It's just that I tell people all the time, life isn't about you. Life is about other people. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have been selfish and told your sister, well, shit, you want this on you. Okay. Shit, my life is good.
I'm healthy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about you. It's not about your life ain't about just you. Your life is about other people. And if you don't necessarily believe that, you can look back at Martin Luther King, you can look back at Malcolm X, you can look back at Marcus Garvey, you can look back even at John King. These people made life changes not for themselves, but for other people that affected a lot of other people, and I just have to appreciate that, you showed up today and you was willing to talk about your sister and you're willing to talk about yourself, that you put yourself out there, you know what I'm saying? And that, if you ask me, that takes a lot to put yourself out there in so many different ways, you know what I'm saying? Not just talk about your own personal self for yourself, but to also talk about what it was like to deal with, what you went through with your sister and your siblings and your parents and this and that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause if you ask me, that takes a lot to even just open your mouth to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that you came here on Off the Clock with Mo to even put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that's difficult. And you didn't have to do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You could have said, next question. You know what I'm saying? Next. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't, and you put it out there. And if you ask me, I think that's another step of being able to come to grips or be able to accept what did happen and what has happened. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I just appreciate you just for coming on. And I think we're gonna wrap this up. This is going to be another episode of Off the Clock with Mo, and I appreciate Diaz for coming out here and wearing his heart on his sleeves, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that, and I think other people really appreciate it too, because I don't think that you're the only one that's going through it. There's a lot of people out there that's gonna see this and listen to this that's done went through it just as well. And I believe that you at least help one person out.
I hope so.
You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate you, showing up for me.
Of course.
So this is going to be another episode of Off the Clock with Mo. Like, comment, subscribe to it, and just keep watching. We got some more. We got some more coming along, down the road, and if Diaz is up to it, I want to have Diaz back on here again.
Oh, for sure. I had talking with y'all, so I'll be around. I'll be around.
Cool. Don't be lying to us now.
I'm sure. America, y'all put in the comments if y'all enjoyed our conversation, y'all want to see more of us. Put in the comments. Let us know.
And that's Off the Clock with Mo. Thank you.